Hey, how's it going? How's everybody doing? I'm just doing a quick little, sort of quickish. I don't know how long it's gonna be. It might be quick, it might be long. I don't know. Anyway, a view, a review, a discussion, my thoughts on a film called Bad Manners, which came out in 1984, directed by Robert. Was it Robert Houston? Yeah, Robert Houston, known then still as Bobby Houston. This is an interesting film with an interesting cast, and it's also incredibly very politically incorrect, but I also do really like this film. I mean, it's not a great movie that I can watch over and over again, um, but every once in a while it'll I'll just see it somewhere. Like I saw it on Tubi and I decided to watch it the other day. I hadn't seen it in a few years, quite a few years in fact, but it brought back some memories of a friend of mine who passed away a few years ago. His name was Ken. He was a really good guy, but but it was a movie we'd watched a few times together when we were kids. But yeah, 1984, Bad Manners. Excuse me. Directed by Robert Houston, and I got the list of some of the actors here. Pamela, I want to say her name's pronounced Adion, but I know I'm saying that wrong. Or Adlon. Maybe it's Adlon. Yeah, I think that's it. But at the time, she was also known as Pamela Segal, but she changed her name. I don't know why she changed her name. I saw someone else talking about the film, so I'm very dry here. Still sick, but yet I'm drinking this shit, right? But but anyway, yeah, she changed her name. She's been known for doing TV show sitcoms in the 80s and 90s and doing a ton of voice work. The two things I remember most outside of this movie, she was in an episode of Night Court, which is a show from the 80s, which is a really funny show. Most of the cast in it has since passed. John Larroquette, I think, is still around. She was in an episode of that, and she also plays the does the voice of Bobby Hill on King of the Hill. Holy crap, this is a ridiculous story. I haven't been doing a lot of talking today because of this. But yeah, that's what I know her most as. And let's see, so fucking Ann DeSalvo. Oh, Ann DeSalvo. That's what I wrote down really fast and it's all scribbly, and I was like, what the hell does that say? But yeah, Ann DeSalvo. I don't really know her from too much. I know she was in a lot of TV shows in the oh man, this is going to be a video of me coughing and fixing my pants. But a lot of TV shows in the 80s and 90s. I don't really know a ton about her, but she's really good in this movie. She plays the role very, very well as a nun who's, well, just very militant, for the lack of a better term. But we'll get more on that in a minute. Murphy Dunn, who I know from the Blues Brothers as well. Martin Mull. Most people also, I know him mostly from Roseanne. He was Roseanne's boss when she worked in the cafe. Who else is there? Kimmy Robertson. I know anyone who's watched Twin Peaks knows who Kimmy Robertson is. In this movie, she's almost like an unintentional Pee Wee Herman's sister, because that's just who she kind of looks like and sounds like in this movie. But I do, okay, come here. Come here. Nope, you're getting picked up. Yeah, you're getting picked up. There. Better? But yeah, she's really funny in this movie. Just the rich princess, obnoxious teen girl. And who else? Who else was in this film? And of course Karen Black. I didn't even get to her name yet. It just hit me. Oh yeah, Karen Black is in this. And anybody who knows horror, anybody who knows, well, Karen Black is just iconic. She was iconic, and it was unfortunate, kind of sad when she passed away. But she had a good long life, and anything she's been in is pretty amazing. From Easy Rider to all the way up to like the Rob Zombie film. She's just amazing. In just every time you see her on screen, it's going to be a good film, or at least her acting, her character is going to be really good. So it's great to have her in that movie. And also Richard Deacon, who I know specifically, and I think most people Gen X and older would know him as Fred Rutherford from Leave It to Beaver, and then later on he was on the Dick Van Dyke Show. So yeah, and this was his last film, and he actually passed away, I think, 2 months before the film was actually released, so he didn't actually get to see himself in the movie. and I'm not sure, he might be uncredited. I'm not 100% certain about that. But when you see him on screen, if you know Leave It to Beaver, you're like, oh my God, it's him. And he's basically Fred Rutherford selling tickets at a bus station. So it's kind of an interesting character. It's almost the same personality. Anything else here? No. So basically, what the film is about: a young kid gets taken out of juvie hall. Probably, I don't say young kid. Probably supposed to be about 13 years old. Gets taken out of juvie and gets taken to this orphanage, which is run very tyrannically by this religious overlord. I guess you could say she is this nun who's just cruel and mean, and everybody else around her is just kind of the same thing. The kids are treated like prisoners. They're living basically in they're caged at night in rooms, bunk beds, whatever. Sorry, this throat thing is really getting on my nerves. I should have waited till tomorrow to do this, so my apologies. But anyway, yeah. And there's a big electrified fence around it, so they can't even escape. And there is an escape attempt in the movie, and then you find out that's how you find out the fence is electrified. And they keep everybody in order by using cattle prods to prod them into behaving. And when they're bad, they get put into a freezer. Which, being a chef, a retired chef, I can tell you that if they were actually sitting in an industrial freezer, that's supposed to be a fridge. It might just be a fridge, but it seems a little too cold for a fridge. But if it was a freezer, yeah, they would not be alive by the time they got them out of it. So maybe it is only a fridge. Maybe I was just thinking it was a freezer. I'm not sure. But anyway, what happens? The youngest one in the group, Mouse, he gets adopted, and he doesn't want to be adopted. None of them actually want to be adopted. So he gets adopted, and then they get on this plan to escape, and they execute this plan to get out and then try and save him, and then they end up going to the home of the people that adopted him. But unbeknownst to them, that's, I'm trying to sound smart, unknown to them that he had actually already escaped the home, and he was, I'm not sure if he was going back to the orphanage. I can't really remember what his end game was, but anyway, yeah, he ends up leaving, and then they show up, and then he ends up coming back or something. Anyway, a lot of chaos ensues. A lot of weird shit going on in this movie that it's just odd. And given that the movie really isn't that old, I mean, it's 40 years old, but in terms of Hollywood, it's not super, super old. But there are some interesting things. There is some racism in a sense. The whitest character is called Whitey, and the black character is called Blackie, but they don't really have a lot of racial tensions. They're all friends. The black guy makes a few comments about white people, and some of the people make comments about him being black and whatever. But it's the way it's done. I don't want to say tasteful. Racism's not really tasteful, but it's also done in a way that's sort of like funny, like it's intended to be. This is a no snowflake movie, by the way, just to throw that out there. But the one character that stands out the most when it comes to questionable racism is their adopted son. I guess he's an exchange student, Garth, who's a Buddhist, and I don't know if he's supposed to be a white guy because his name's Garth, but he is or if it's yellow facing. So, which is, if yellow facing is when they take a white actor and then they portray him as an Asian actor by doing the makeup and the face and maybe prosthetics to make the white person pass off as an Asian. So I'm not sure, because he's got this makeup on his face that just looks ridiculous, that looks so stereotypically Asian, and he's supposed to be a Buddhist, but his name's Garth. But the only reference they make of him not potentially being a white guy is that is they mention that he's an exchange student. Now, so I'm not sure what he is, but if he's supposed to be yellow face, it's ridiculous. It's like laughable when you look at him. You're like, oh my God, is he supposed to be Asian? Because Tracy was sort of watching it with me the other day, and she's like, is he supposed to be Asian? I said, no, I think he's just a Buddhist, but he thinks he's Asian. At least that's what I got. That's what I've always sort of got out of it, but maybe I'm wrong. I don't know what he was intended to be, but it's ridiculous. I mean, it's not nearly as bad as Mickey Rooney in Breakfast at Tiffany's. I mean, that was, if you've ever seen that movie, you know what I'm talking about, because I don't even find it funny. Like, it's funny, like, oh my God, someone okayed that in a movie that's supposed to be sort of a classy comedy, and then what the fuck is this character? And it's definitely not nearly as bad as casting John Wayne as Genghis Khan. You know, Genghis Khan, Pilgrim. That is the most, like, I don't know. I also, because I don't like John Wayne. I never thought he was a good actor, and I just think was an asshole. But that's just me. But anyway, a few notable scenes is when the kids are all locked in together, they get into a fight, they get into a scuffle, and then through that they become friends. They end up becoming blood brothers. They actually cut their fingers and mix the blood together. And clearly, this is before the AIDS epidemic became a big thing, because that would probably not be in a movie now, just for the obvious reasons. That's yeah, that could probably kill you if someone happens to be sick. So, not making light of AIDS. I actually have friends with AIDS, so I just don't want to think anyone I'm making fun of AIDS. No, I'm just being, you know, that would just not be a good idea to put that in a movie, promote something like that. What did I wrote some things here. Oh, okay, talked about, yeah, that. Oh, also another scene, there's a cab driver, and they get a ride in a cab. Now, I don't know why the cab driver's getting them drunk. He's passing them beers, and these are kids that are all like, getting all wasted. One of the kids throws up in the cab. It's like, why is the cab driver drinking and driving? And why is he giving beer to, like, 12-year-olds sitting in the back seat? It's a little bit questionable there, buddy. And also, but the funny thing about the cab driver, there was a kid I knew back in the day that both my friend Ken and I both knew. His name was Doug. And he just lived around the corner from me and a couple doors over from Ken. And his father was a cab driver, and this cab driver in the movie looked exactly like his dad. And we told him that. He was like, hey, my dad might be, like, fat, but you don't have to make fun of him. It's like, no, the guy looks like your dad. Like, you know, we weren't making fun of him, but he somehow took it offensively until we had to sit and tell him, no, he looks like your dad. But anyway, oh, and then there's another funny scene where Mouse is about to get adopted by this really weird rich couple that are very, like, creepy and sexual, and the woman's got her boobs hanging out to here. I mean, hot woman, but it's just, you're adopting a kid, and that's the joke in the film. But so what he does, he fills a water balloon up, sticks it in his pants, and then pops it while they're deciding whether they want to be adopted, or they want to adopt him, but he doesn't want to be adopted. So he pops the balloon, and she thinks he's peed all over her. So, and she freaks out and reacts. Just a funny scene. Yeah, sorry, I could have done this better if my throat wasn't all fucked up, but and also if I wrote my my notes here a little bit better. I don't even know what that word is. I wrote down psyche. Oh, okay. Oh, I know. There's a psychiatrist in the film, and he's a little bit pedo, a little bit creepy. He's all sweaty. The only other thing I know him from, he was the eccentric gay guy in the Airplane films, and when she plays that role, really funny. It's stereotypical shit, but it's funny. And in this movie, he's like this sort of perverted children's psychiatrist, and he's all just creepy, and he ends up getting punched in the nose, which is really funny. So anyway, do I recommend this movie? I'm not going to say no, but I'm not going to say yes. You know, it's just one of those films, if you have a Saturday afternoon, it's like an hour and a half long, under an hour and a half long. It's just a fun watch once in a while, and some of it you're going to be like, oh my God, really? Another part you're just going to be laughing hysterically. It doesn't really have any closure at the end, sort of. They get away, sorry, spoiler alert. But it's not a big, in terms of character arcs and story and everything else. It's not like a major film that way, so I'm not really giving, it's just basically jokes throughout. But it's a fun movie to watch every once in a while. And do I say check it out? Yeah, why not? Why not? Just for a Saturday afternoon, you're bored, grab a bag of popcorn and, a pop or soda, whatever you call it, and just sit down and just have a good time for 90 minutes. You might not find it under the title Bad Manners because for some reason they changed the title to Growing Pains, which I think is a stupid title because it makes no sense, because that sort of implies that their kids growing up and, you know, coming into themselves, whatever that coming into themselves. Like, that sounded really weird. You know, just they're growing up and finding themselves, whatever. No, it's not like that at all. So I think that's just, I don't know why they changed the title. Stupid title. But anyway, yeah, check it out. Fun Saturday afternoon flick. If you've seen the movie before and you got a comment about it, yeah, drop it below because I'm really curious. I know it's not a popular movie. I know a lot of people haven't seen it around that time. You know, I keep saying you know. I should stop saying that. But yeah, it's just a way to spend an afternoon, a rainy day. I know it's on Tubi, or you could just find it somewhere online. I found it just about 3 years ago. I watched it actually, and I just searched it. Oh, there it is on. I think it was 1, 2, 3 movies or whatever that channel site is called. What's wrong with me? Jeez, barely talk, and even when I do, the words aren't making sense. But yeah, if you watch this all the way, thank you so much. And if you want to comment, like I said, talk about the movie and what you thought of it, or make fun of my shitty talking review right now because I just sound like garbage, yeah, you can do that too. I'm not a snowflake. I can handle it. And if you want to like, subscribe, help me get up to 1,000 subs, I'd really appreciate that. For those who haven't subscribed already, I promise you that my videos are a lot better than this when it comes to talking. I'm just a little bit... my throat's all screwy. I know now it's not so bad. Now that I'm at the end of the video, it's not all dry and shit. But anyway, thank you for watching, and until the next one.